Hi everyone, and welcome back to Unboxed. Today, we are going to be talking about stress. Now, we use this word every single day. It's part of our vocabulary. And one thing that I would like to remind you guys is that even though we all use this word, it can mean something different to all of us. And the way we use the word stress is unique in our own way. But we do use the word stress. Do we actually know what it means though? Well, stress on a medical term is any emotional, psychological, or mental physical factor that can harm us or affect us if we are exposed to it too much. Now, stress can be external, meaning coming from your environment, social situations, or it can be internal, meaning from an illness or if we've had a medical procedure done. However, when we are talking about stress, we tend to use a lot of different words to describe what we're feeling, and they can be things like worry, anxiety, burden, hardship, hassle, fear, tension, nervousness, and so many more things. Now, I will remind you guys that what might be stressful for one person may not be stressful for another. And the way we cope and handle with the different stressors and triggers that we are exposed to can also vary. So just keep that in mind. In talking about stress, we also have to mention good stress and bad stress. Yes, I said good stress. You must be like, what is good stress? Let me tell you. So you guys have heard at some point in time or the other of the fight or flight mechanism. Now, stress is basically the body's positive response to any situation that's dangerous to us or harmful. Now, it kicks in that mechanism of what action to take, what do I do, how do I go into survival mode, right? So that's basically what good stress is for. It motivates us and it pushes us to take action. That's good stress. However, when we are presented with stressors and triggers on a daily basis and it is harmful to us, then that's when we consider it to be bad. And basically, how we respond to a situation will determine whether or not it affects our health. Some of us have coping mechanisms and some of us don't. We don't always know how to handle a situation or always know what to do. Now, the body's ability to cope with these stressors and triggers and our mind, that plays an important part in whether or not that exposure to stressors affects us or not. Now, these stressors can affect us in many ways, but there are some positive situations that can actually stress us out. How about, for example, having a baby, moving homes, promotion at work? Now, these are all wonderful things. They're positive things, but it can be stressful. Why? Because it requires extra effort, it requires change, there are new responsibilities, there will be challenges. Now that step into the unknown and that taking on all this extra stuff, that's what will make us feel like we're stressed out. And yes, you will be happy about these things, but you will feel that kind of nervousness and that anticipation and like those words we used earlier that we used to describe stress, and you will feel them, even though these are positive situations. Now, all of us face stressors and triggers on an everyday basis. And just to remind you, it's not always just one at a time. Most times we're dealing with multiple stressors, and that's what makes it really difficult. Now, let's mention a few so that we can see what stressors and triggers look like. Job issues or retirement, lack of time, financial problems, grief, family problems, illnesses, moving homes, relationship issues, marital problems, or even divorce, abortion or miscarriage, It can even be simple things like driving in heavy traffic or the fear of an accident, crime, or problems with your neighbors, pregnancy and becoming a parent. For some persons, it's excessive noise, overcrowding, and pollution, and the uncertainty or waiting for an important outcome. These are things we face on an everyday basis. So when you think about it, we are surrounded by stressors or triggers. But like I had mentioned, it depends on how we cope and how we are able to deal with the stressors and triggers. That's what will determine whether or not it has a harmful impact on us.